addition to that, they also have.
Okay, you heard that?
No, no.
Did you see Virginia?
We are in the East Room of the White House where today, this evening, First Lady Jill Biden will host the 2023 International Medal of Arts ceremony. The International Medal of Arts are selected by the U.S. Department of State as part of their Art in Embassies program. It is an annual award that honors artists who have played an exemplary role in promoting cultural diplomacy efforts around the world. This year, recipients the award will be given to 5 recipients. This year, 2023 honorees include Tony Aberta, Sheila Hicks, Robert Kurtz, Hank Willis Thomas, and Solin White. The First Lady is expected to deliver remarks this evening, and after remarks, the award will be presented to the honorees, to the 5 honorees. This year in June marks the 68th anniversary celebration of the U.S. the Art in Embassy program, and it was celebrated.
Folks, if y'all want to come with me real quick, we'll put you up here.
In Lisbon, Portugal, where the First Lady delivered remarks. The Arts in Embassies program engages over 20,000 participants globally, including artists, museums, galleries, universities, and private collectors. It encompasses over 200 venues in 189 countries. Arts in Embassies has helped further U.S. diplomacy through the mission of cross-cultural dialogue, through the visual arts and artist exchange, by providing works of art from preeminent American artists for display at U.S. diplomatic embassies around the world.
Welcome back to the White House. You got your seat waiting for you. Right?
Sorry.
Wait, stay right here.
Oh, just staying here.
It helped showcase the culture, history, and values of the American people. The Museum of Modern Art first envisioned this global virtual art program in 1953. And President John F. Kennedy formalized it at the U.S. Department of State in 1963. So this year marks 60 years of the art in embassy. Right now we have guests the screen. And they have been seated.
How are you?
This week has been
Let me show you. Is the shot of us coming down.
What the hell? Pardon me.
So we see some of the senior officials and cabinet members also. Program is about to begin. Everyone is sitting. Again, we are in the East Room of the White House.
Stand back there. Oh, no, Tony? Okay. I was going to call him this.
23 International Medal of Arts honorees. Distinguished guests, the First Lady of the United States, accompanied by Deputy Secretary Richard Burma and Megan Biden.
Director Meyer, Megan, it's so wonderful to be able to be a part of another Art in Embassies event. Art is about connection. Art is the evidence and expression of our humanity. And even when it's easy to get caught up in differences, art can unite us. Connection is what diplomacy is all about. For 60 years, the State Department has recognized the diplomatic power of art, distributing works to American embassies and deploying over 200 U.S. artists as culture envoys to local communities. In embassies and ambassadors' residences in countries across the globe, the art of our 5 incredible medalists hangs on the walls. And as guests enter, their works are not only a declaration of who we are, they're an invitation to a conversation and an opening for connection. But for these artists, that wasn't enough. They've also spent their time forging connections between themselves, speaking at workshops and exhibitions, creating bonds of understanding and friendship that help our diplomats succeed. Earlier this year, I traveled to Lisbon to see an exhibition there celebrating the 60th anniversary of this program. One of the works on display was a retelling of Norman Rockwell's famous 4 Freedoms. And some of you are shaking your heads, so I'm sure you know it well. So most of you know Norman Rockwell, right? Created by a group of artists that includes one of our wonderful medalists here today, Hank Willis Thomas. Rockwell's paintings capture how he saw his time. Each presents a moment, a snapshot of American life made possible by our nation's fundamental values. The 4 freedoms President Roosevelt laid out in his 1941 State of the Union address. Freedom of speech, freedom of worship, freedom from want, and freedom from fear. More than 70 years later, Hank Willis Thomas created 4 new images showing those same freedoms, but now in his time. And as each visitor took in the exhibit, those threads of history and understanding wrapped around us, staying with us long after we had left, weaving us together into a tapestry that stretches across a culture and language and borders. That is the spirit of Art in Embassies and their program, and of the Medal of Arts Award. Each of our recipients today, each of you, has done our world a service. In other cities and other countries, you've woven more threads into that same tapestry of connection and fellowship. Because diplomacy isn't only about the government-to-government relationship. It's people to people, heart to heart. With each brush stroke and photograph, with each workshop and exhibition, you've added to that conversation, sewing more invisible threads, tying us to one another. So I want to thank you, every diplomat working for a brighter future, every painter and sculptor helping us see the hidden colors of the beautiful world around us, for accepting the call to become something bigger than yourselves. Hi, Daddy. That's what it's all about. So thank you for using your talents to make this planet a little brighter, a little better, and a little more beautiful for us all. Thank you.
vibrant role played by the arts in painting a bright and dynamic portrait of our nation around the world. When President Kennedy created the Office of Art and Embassies 60 years ago, he understood the power of art as a tool of cultural diplomacy. He grasped that America's leadership was rooted not only in the strength of arms, but in our civilization, in our culture, in our creativity, and in our humanity. And he set in motion the vision that we realize today, transforming U.S. diplomatic posts into houses of artistic excellence and beauty. Building customized exhibits of the combined works of American and international masters and local creators into the fabric of our embassies across the globe. And along the way, tapping into art as a bedrock of our people-to-people ties, one of our greatest and most renewable sources of friendship with counterparts overseas. I've had the great honor and privilege of seeing the impact of arts and embassies firsthand. As our ambassador to India, I lived in Roosevelt House, our official residence in New Delhi, which became the architectural inspiration for the Kennedy Center. It's long been a symbol of U.S.-India friendship and a showcase of Indian and American art and architecture. One of my predecessors, Ambassador Kenneth Keating, said, quote, "I live in an art gallery," and he was right. Each piece of art had a story to tell, and no matter who I met with, whether it was the foreign minister or a cricket captain, we could find a shared interest in talking about the art adorning the walls of Roosevelt House. And ultimately, that's the core of diplomacy. Starting conversations, finding common ground, and forging relationships that last. That's what art can do and bring people together. We could not have this art diplomacy program without patriotic artists who provide their works, create special commissions, and visit posts to engage with citizens. These cultural ambassadors answer the call to support American diplomacy. Most of the artwork you see in U.S. Embassy residences are loans or gifts from generous artists and cultural institutions. Since 2012, the International Medal of Art has honored outstanding artists who have selfishly given of their time and talent. And today, we honor 5 of those artists and their wonderful contributions to the Art and Embassies programs. And we say thank you. Thank you for bringing your heart, soul, talent, and vision to the world. And I'll now introduce my great honor to introduce Megan Beyer, the Director of the Arts and Embassies Office, to present our honored artists. Thank you.
And now we will begin. Tony Abeyta. Tony Abeyta comes from a family of Navajo artists, including his parents, his brothers and sisters, and even now his own children. Tony studied in Santa Fe at the Institute of American Indian Arts. His art is a bridge between those traditions and contemporary artistic practice. Like many on the stage tonight, he's received awards nationally and internationally. His work has been featured in numerous United States embassies, including the works Infinite Wisdom and Canyon that are in so many of our embassies from Dili to Lima. He has always answered the call of his country. In fact, when Art and Embassies asked him to attend the City Summit of the Americas in Denver, he was there to preach about art diplomacy. Tony Abeyta. Sheila Hicks. Sheila unfortunately could not be with us today, but since the has been an innovator in contemporary art using fiber as an artistic medium. She received a Fulbright Scholarship, like many in the State Department, in 1957 and worked in Chile. Since then, she has traveled all over the world and has engaged global textile traditions in the contemporary context of sculpture and installation art. She has 2 artworks, Laris and Penedas, and After the Rain, on permanent display at the United States Embassy in Islamabad, Pakistan. Robert Pruitt. Robert explores identity and creates meaningful connections through the subjects of his figurative drawings. His bold re-envisioning of Black history, U.S. history, and pop culture has made him a preeminent artist today. When we take in his beautifully rendered charcoal portraits, we witness the stunning breadth of Black identity and imagination. As a student at Texas Southern University in his native Houston, Robert learned the power of making art that reflects the history and the fabric of the African American experience. In 2015, Robert was commissioned to create a large, site-specific piece entitled Forever's People that hangs in the lobby of the U.S. Embassy in Harare, Zimbabwe. Hank Willis Thomas, Daddy. Hank Willis Thomas learned how to look critically at all images, from family photos to his mother's work, who was an archivist in Black history and culture. Now, in his conceptual multimedia practice, he challenges us to do the very same thing. Sparked by a seemingly limitless creative and intellectual curiosity, Hank uses humor and ingenuity to reframe the issues we sometimes overlook. His work, A Place to Call Home, Africa, America, is part of the Art and Embassy's 60th anniversary exhibition in Lisbon. In his words, it is related to ideas about being a hyphenated America. I wanted to make a place where African Americans come from. The lines between nations are imaginary, just like the lines between races. Hank Willis Thomas. If you find yourself in front of one of Su Ling Wong's phenomenal abstract paintings, you might feel like the earth beneath you has shifted. So dynamic is her swooping brushwork. Her artwork brings together Eastern and Western histories and aesthetics that have shaped her life. It's all there. Her upbringing in Taiwan, calligraphy, traditional Chinese landscapes, her education in London, her love of English romantic painting. She has returned to her small rural village in Taiwan, yet she continues to work on the world stage. In 2018, Su Ling created a painting over 7 feet high, almost 30 feet long, The Singing River 2, for the American Institute of Taiwan. Su Ling Wong.
combination of art and diplomacy and of those incredible artists. Now please join us and the children for the reception on the state floor just down the hallway. See you there. Thank you.
Alright, I'll see you soon. I'm going to the dinner tonight.
That's really cool. I'm not there. You know how
You're behind, yes. Good to see you. I know. Yes. Yeah. Thank you. You're not there. Can't do it all.
very best, yeah.
Yes.
How are you? You okay?
Yeah.
Didn't know you were there. Thank you.
Tell me to go today. Don't tell me to go.
These kids are.
What co-worker would you sign to go to?
Did you make a frame of that? That guy's head was killed. Who that guy was still up.
About what?
I was trying to tell you that you were over there when she left.
I'm sorry?
I was trying to tell you that you were standing over there.
Thank you.
For now, just use your audio application. We're good to start getting everybody if you wanted to say we'll take your name. All right, guys, I think we're going to get